Most of us have a love-hate relationship with team meetings. In a survey done, 73% of the people said that they multitask during a team meeting. That means they're doing other things. And 9 out of 10 people admitted to daydreaming in their team meeting. What if I told you there's one meeting that you can run every single day that's less than 10 minutes but is guaranteed to amp up your team's productivity? That is the daily team huddle. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the agenda that you can use for your very own huddle, as well as 5 tips that are going to make sure that your daily huddle is the most productive meeting ever. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome to the Elevated Entrepreneur YouTube channel. My name is Dhiren Bhatia, and I'm the host of the Elevated Entrepreneur podcast and this YouTube channel where I share tips and tricks to elevate mindset, systems, and productivity for tech consultants and coaches all over the world so that they too can quit the hustle game. Now, before we talk about the agenda, I want to talk about where this idea even came from. The idea of a daily team huddle is popularized by a gentleman named Verne Harnish, who was the founder of the Gazelles Coaching Institute, as well as the author of the very successful business book called Scaling Up. And if you've heard of EO, which has chapters all over the world, he's the founder of that too. And Verne shares examples of how famous brands like Apple and Google use versions of the daily team huddle in their respective teams every single day. He also talks about the fact that a team huddle should not be more than 10 minutes. And I know some of you may already be asking how a team huddle can be less than 10 minutes. That's exactly what I'm going to cover next, the agenda. A good team huddle has 3 key items on the agenda. The first one is a win. Every team member gets an opportunity to share what they're celebrating. Whether it's a work win or a personal win, it doesn't matter, as long as it's a win. And this is important for 2 reasons. Starting the day off with something that's positive can really boost morale as well as energy. And sure, you may not be starting your day on a positive note, but if you're hearing me share something that's really personal and really positive, it's going to uplift you too. And second, because we live in a post-pandemic world, a personal win can allow other team members to peek into my life as well. And that can be very powerful because it creates very strong bonds between team members. The second item on the agenda for the daily team huddle is the burn or the burning items. What is that one thing that team members are going to be achieving in the next 24 hours? So every team member gets an opportunity to share what is it that they're working on and the one thing they're going to achieve in the next 24 hours. The more specific, the better. So if I'm a sales team member, I would say something like, my burn for today is that I'm going to call X number of clients. Or if I'm in the projects team, I would say something like, I'm going to work on 6 different project plans and I'm going to complete 80% of the tasks on those project plans. Great way to share the burning item for the day. And the third item on the agenda is the ask. This is where a team member gets an opportunity to share who they're looking for help from, whether it's internal or external, and they get to mention it here on the call. And that would go something like this. I'm looking for help with my CRM. So Dhiren, I'm going to reach out to you after the call to get your advice and suggestions. And that's it. Those are the 3 items that need to be on your daily team huddle. That's going to help you keep the meeting to less than 10 minutes and also ensure it to be one of your most productive meetings. I want to share with you the 5 tips that I have learned from running a daily team huddle every single day for the last 5 years with my team over at Cloudscape. Tip number 1 is start the meeting at an odd hour, something like 9:08 or 9:21, not at 8 a.m. or 9:30, simply because an odd hour and minute allows your team to be on time every time. Typically with a meeting that starts on the hour or half past the hour, people will walk in a few minutes late. And we want this meeting to start on time and stop on time. So make sure this meeting starts at a very odd hour because team members will usually rock up a couple of minutes before the actual time and they get an opportunity to have a little bit of light banter. Tip number 2 is have a host for every huddle and rotate that host for every huddle. We do this alphabetically. So everybody in my team will get an opportunity. We will go across the team members alphabetically and they become the host for the meeting for that single day. And they are responsible for making that meeting start and stop on time. It also allows team members to bring in their sense of humor and energy into that daily team huddle. The next tip is don't let it drift. Team members can become very chatty during the huddle. A good host plays a really important role in here because they can quickly bring the team member back on point, allow them to finish their item in a sharp and concise manner. The next tip is about being general, and Verne Harnish says that generalities are the enemy of a good team huddle. And that's so true, because the more general you are in your team huddle, the more ineffective it's going to be. So the more specifics, the better. KPIs, measurability are all great ways to make sure team members are actually committing to something very, very specific. And the next one I have on my list, that this is not an operational call. This is not a working session, but more a quick, sharp, concise status update. This can usually be shared at the top of the call or even in a message before the call. The last tip, which is my favorite tip, is the huddle on Mondays are phenomenal, because Monday huddles get to add one more item on the agenda, and that is the burn for the week. So in addition of saying the burn for the day, on Mondays they also get to share what is the team members' burn for the week. This forces team members to think ahead of the curve, to get ahead of the operational and firefighting mode, and think long and hard about what is that they're going to work on this week. And that is designed to boost productivity through the roof. And sure, you can also change this up and move this to a Friday. So the last huddle of the week can include a fourth item on the agenda, so that the team can get a moment to think about what they're going to work on the next week before they wrap up the current week. I hope that you really enjoyed the agenda and the tips that I've shared with you to make your next daily team huddle a fantastic and one of the most productive team meetings ever. If you like this video and the tips that I've shared with you, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and also take a moment to tell me in the comments which was your favorite tip. Make sure you check out this video here, where I share with you my best secrets for becoming a powerful negotiator.